this video we're going to define what a warrior is, and the first process for that is to define what warrior culture is in general. So out of my book, Modern Warrior Culture, my definition is a unique group of individuals that take on traits, morals, mannerisms, and traditions of warriors within any society in an effort to combat threats and or have passed trials of entry pertaining to warrior standards with specific subcultures encompassing a given branch of military service. So what that means, I know that's a long definition, but what that means is, to break it down, you don't have to have joined the military service to be a warrior. So that's why if we look at roughly 7.2% of the population is either in active duty or veteran status at the moment. That's a very small minority in the United States. If I were to say that we gathered up all the individuals that also fit into the demographics of warrior, we wouldn't be pushing 50%, but we would be a lot closer. And what I normally tell somebody is when they say, well, I was never in the service, I don't feel like I have a connection with that per se. I usually tell them, do you feel like defending your home? Because it's that safety aspect is what actually creates warriors. There is a sacrifice that is paid to actually become a warrior, because there's two things that create warriors. The very first is that you have to realize that you're going to die. Not meaning that you're going to die in combat or that it's something within training or anything like that, but it means that you know that life isn't forever. That at some point, whether in old age or whatever comes along, death is inevitable. So that's the very first thing. And a lot of people that don't go to this field, as far as this culture, you can kind of tell when they're not cut out for it, because they kind of have that inkling that they're just going to live forever for whatever reason. The second is that they have to be able to kill, and that's a little bit odd. There are a lot of books and a lot of research in that endeavor to identify why killing has a psychological effect on people that differs. But for warriors, it's not a standard to say that killing is good or bad or what. You just have to understand that it is a thing that may or may not happen. So it's not something that you would want to join the military saying, I'm doing it for college or any other reason, because there is the high chance that you would end up having to engage in combat. And in combat, killing is, the name of the game. So those two things are what creates warriors to begin with. And the culture as a whole is comprised of all of these individuals that are on that same capability level. So I hope that kind of explained it, or at least gave you a little bit different perspective of what creates a warrior and what they're actually, the definition of them. It's a little bit more complicated in the modern times than it is in previous times, because things have evolved. We're no longer looking at things on that tribalism, platoon-based or small unit tactics or groups. We're looking at this as a bigger picture, a bigger issue, for the main reason of longevity and things down the road. So hopefully that answered some questions for some folks.